Hi, this is Edith, Educational Technologist at Oregon Tech, and in this video, I'm going to go over the View tab. So the View tab is basically how your application is going to look when you're working with it. So I kind of just want to show you the different views. There may be one that works better for you than another, so this is just how you would do that. So the normal default is the print layout, and that's this view here. So it's just basically what it would look like when it's printed. And again, the hover menu will tell you what the differences are. So if you go into read mode, it's almost like going into full screen, and it's a little bit more difficult to read in this sense that if you want to look at like the document, it's like when you get a document from somebody and you get it open in your Microsoft Word and it says enable editing. It's actually in the reading mode at that time. So if you're here and you don't want to be here and it's not a document that you've had email sent to you, then what you can do is, because you're missing that top bar up here, and so it might cause you a second of panic. So you can go back to your View tab and then change it back to well, your layout, I'm sorry, no, that's not going to work either. Well, okay, so the View tab does not work. So the best thing that I can recommend and how you get out of this is just hit escape, and that'll bring you back to the screen here. It'll put you back into print view. Let's try one other thing. There is down here at the bottom, and I missed these on the icons when I was first talking about the overview of Word. So you can actually change it here as well. You can just click on print layout or web layout. Either one works, but I find escape is just as easy, so it's definitely up to you. Web layout, again, it kind of changes the way that the page looks, and that's because it's going to show you what it's going to look like on a web page. So that's what that's about. So my recommendation again is let's go ahead and leave it in the print layout view unless you find the other views are more useful to you. You have an outline option, and this will open up a whole nother screen, and you see that you have now a new tab called outlining. And so this is something that you might want to encourage your students to use, or you may use yourself, and you can change all of these parameters, how you would like it to set up: show level up to 9, show text formatting, show first line only, show document. So it's just some tools that you can use for setting up your documents or having your students set up your documents. I find it very useful. I do a lot of outlines, and I think that having this is a nice tool. It does take some going through and learning how to use, and perhaps I will do just a specific video if anybody's interested in it, or specific training on how you can do an outline view. So when you're done doing an outline view, you can always hit close, and then you get back to your main document. A draft, it's just as it says, so it just kind of sets you up for a draft view. I have yet to use that, so perhaps it's something that you might want to fiddle with, but it looks like you might be able to do some commenting over here so that you can make changes, and then it's not the full view. And again, let me recommend, if you do want to do different changes and different things on a document and you're unsure whether you want to keep the changes or not, please be sure that you save a copy of your document. You don't want to make all of these changes and find that it was not what you expected it to be, and then you're stuck with having to recreate the document. So I just want you to be very careful on that. The ruler, again, I use the ruler. You see it up here on the top. It's a very useful tool. You can move margins without having to go into the margin setup in the layout view. You can move your margins around here, and you want to make sure you move that gray area as well. That's what's going to move your margins. As you can see, it just moves pretty quickly there. So that's a good way of doing that. You can also have grid lines. So if you're doing, say, a math equation, or you want to show some math work, this is where you can actually get grid lines set up for that. So it's kind of a neat little feature. You can use your shapes in order to create lines, you know, if you want to make your quadrants or whatever, or if you're using it for something different. I couldn't honestly answer why, you know, what other purposes you would use it for, but there may be a need for you to use it in this sense. So you do have that option with the grid lines. You can zoom in and zoom out of the page. You could do the text width. You can do a preset, or you can do your own view here, and it will show you what the preview looks like on the page. So this is basically, while it shows your monitor, it's just showing you what it'll look like. So you could do many pages, you know, however many pages you want together. So, or you can, if you've zoomed, let's say I zoomed to 200 and I say okay, and I want to get back to 100 because I'm done, this is the quick, easy way to do it. The other thing you can do, and I know you noticed that before I was actually at 141% when I was working with that. So that's why it came down so small here. You could do a one-page view. You could do a multiple-page view. So I only have one page right now, but if I had gone through the whole document, now you can see that I have 2 pages. So it will show you up to as many pages as you want, I believe. It's definitely up to you. You may choose that you like it this way versus the other way. Now, let's see if I do a bunch of pages, because it's nice and easy that I could do a few pages. Let's go and look at the multiple view just so that I can show you what it would look like. So it's only going to show 2 by 2 on the multiple view, but it's still a quick, easy way of getting there. You know, to see your different windows here, your different screens that you may have written on. So maybe you're looking for a specific page. So this is a quicker, easy way to do it. You can always do the go to as well feature that we've discussed in other videos. I can also change it to page width. So let's go ahead and go here. And this is why it went up to 155%. So you can see here, because I do prefer to have my width, my page width. You know, to me, it makes a huge difference in how it looks. Maybe I want to see something a little bit better, or you know, I just want to see it up close. So it just depends. You can also create a new window, and what that will do is we'll open a second Word document. And so you can see now I have this Word document and I have a other Word document. Now it created the same document. So whatever I did in the one document, I now open in a new window and see. So this may be where you would want to use that copy feature that I was talking about, where you want a copy of your actual original document. So then right here, I could just do file save as, and then, you know, name it as the original you know, a different document copy, or document 1, you know, whatever the document name is, and a number 1. You can also arrange all. So you can see here I have the 2 different screens because maybe I want to make comparisons between the 2. So I can actually go between the 2 screens. I can also change the size of the screens so that I can, you know, really get down in there and look and see where the differences might be. And I don't need that one top menu for the other page. So I can actually bring my screen over it, or maybe I want this one to go up higher. It just depends. So it's just a really neat feature, especially if you're doing comparison kind of documents. Then at least you have that ability to do that, which I think is very, very good for, you know, editing purposes. I can also split the document. So see 2 sections of your document at the same time. All right, so I'm going to split this document. So now I'm also doing the same type of thing. I don't know if you've ever used this in Excel. It might be something you've used. It's kind of like the freeze pane in Excel. So if you use freeze pane, you'll probably understand this a little bit. It's the same principle, and I can always move, you know, where I want this split to be. I can also change it to viewed side by side. So now I have it on side by side, and let's go ahead and remove the split. So now I see it exactly the same. And so you can see I actually have synchronized scrolling happening here. let's go ahead and close this real quick, and I'll go ahead and open this one back up. Okay, so if I'm going to split, remove split, new window, view side by side. Okay, so this is where you can do the synchronized scrolling. That's what I was looking for, is because I just want to just show you the synchronized scrolling, and I was hoping to show it to you with the words in there. I can also turn that off so that I'm only scrolling on one page and not the other, so I can scroll them independently. The other thing that I could do, and I know that it's on the main window, you have to be clicked on the window that you want to do the synchronized or separate scrolling. So one or the other, it doesn't really matter, but you just do have that option available to you in both of those instances. So this here is reset window position, place document you compare in side by side so they share the screen equally. So if you perhaps, maybe I made this a little bit smaller and made this a little bit bigger, then we can just do this, and then it resets it for me. And so that's a neat feature. I've never tried using it before, but it's really kind of cool. But be aware, now I do have the synchronized scrolling again, so if I don't want that, then I just do this. So there we go. So now I'm on the same page on both, and then if I want to do synchronized scrolling, then at least I'm in line and it looks really nice. Just very much depends on what you want to do. Switch windows, so you can switch the windows instead of clicking on here. Maybe you just want to do one or the other. That's what you would do, and it also will tell you which window you're on. So if I go back into switch windows, you can see I'm on document 1, 2. Same thing, document 1, 2. Document 1. So or I could just do it, it's just switching between the windows is all it is. The other thing you could do is create a macro, and I would like to do a separate video for macros because I'm going to do one for Excel and one for Word. And a macro is basically just creating a little mini program of something that you maybe constantly do over and over again, so you can actually record the macro and then call it up and say, okay, maybe it's an outline that you created, so you can create a macro with the outline that you use all the time. So you could just click on that and it will bring up that outline setup for you. So that's basically it for the Microsoft Word View tab. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, please feel free to contact me, edis.warden@oit.edu, extension 51730. Skype directory name is Edis Warden, and you can always IM or video conference with me, and I would be glad to meet with you. And I can also come to your office if you need some one-on-one help. I'm more than happy to help you with that. All right, you have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you soon.